Hello everyone. Welcome to AVM 2. Actually, you know what? I got a review saying that this introduction was too monotonous. So, how do we change it? வணக்கம் நேயர்களே நீங்கள் கேட்டுக்கொண்டு oh no that's Tamil. You know what? We need to figure it out. So let me know if the intro is too monotonous, you want me to change it. But then again, it is more of a brand creation perspective. That's what I would take it as. But anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to Idiyam to Idiyam. My name is Karthik and I didn't know where that introduction would end. So we reached another milestone. 25 followers. I think I told that in the previous video, but it's okay. Again, I'm really grateful. It's 29 now. We found 4 more followers and that's amazing. And we reached 250 plays. So now it stands at a total of 270 times all the episodes have been played. And just one request, I am assuming most of my followers are the people I know, and thank you so much for supporting me. But if there is someone who has found this podcast, outside of my circle, please do let me know. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude. You have found your way here, and that's really a great thing. As you know, it's impossible to make money out of podcasts in India, so I am really grateful, guys. Thank you so much. Anyways, today's topic is vehicles. That's a funny thing. Indian kids especially, they are brought up with this notion that guys, I think more, I mean, if there may be girls as well, but I have seen guys, they have only, the bike is a big sentiment. For those of you who watch Tamil movies, there's this movie called Polladavan. That's basically the original, bike is my life kind of a movie where most of us would have been inspired from. That's the age group that's listening to this, so I'm assuming if you know Tamil, you have watched that movie. But I was really fortunate enough to have my first bike as Royal Enfield. Yup. EMI, down payment, whatnot. We don't talk about that here. I love it. Actually, it's I really need to shout out to my best friend Sushil. Yeah, so he helped me learn to ride a bike. Bullet, more specifically. He had a Bullet. I think that's the best kind of peer pressure I've ever received. So he taught me how to ride the bike, and voila, Redditch Red Classic 350 at my doorstep. Yeah, I think the introduction has gone way too long. Oh, we are already in the topic, right? My god, please forgive my ignorance. So yeah, this bike is really special to me because I feel that, when I started riding my bike, it felt like something amazing. How do I put it in words? It felt like an achievement, really, because you know how people look up to Royal Enfield. Of course, I'm not saying that my bike is the best. There are way other things there, but this is my bike, man, and nothing comes close to it. That first time I took it for a ride, it was I don't know, I think I'm spending a lot of time here trying to explain you something which I probably cannot explain. But anyways, let's go on to the best part of the podcast, the stories. Somehow my life is filled with stories that I can recite on and on and on and make it entertaining, yeah. That's really a nice touch. Anyways, so in this story there are 3 things: my bike, palace grounds, and a girl. It's always a girl, isn't it? So this girl comes up to me and she asks, "Hey, do you want to go to a wedding?" And mind you, she's really pretty, huh? And I was totally blown aback. I'm thinking, really? I mean, are you sure? But obviously I didn't state that. I need to look cool, right? I mean, who doesn't need? have to have the need to look cool. Yeah, I phrased that correctly. So here's what happened. So this girl comes up to me and she asks me, "There's my friend's sister's wedding." So basically, she's the guest and I'm her guest. And I didn't know anyone there. Spoiler alert, I didn't know anyone there. So she asked me if I could come, and in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, why not? Absolutely. So here's the problem. I haven't been to weddings slash I haven't been out anywhere for a really long time. Of course, because I've been preparing for my finals and I'm an antisocial animal. Same whining, you've heard it many times before. And now this girl calls me and I have absolutely nothing to wear. You know that feel, right? When you desperately wish you had something to wear, but then it's just like, oh man, how do I impress the crowd more so? How do I impress this girl? And I'm taking her on my bike. I mean, it's gotta have something, right? So here's how it went. She calls me and I wear a black full-on t-shirt and I swear black, there's just something about it, mostly because it hides all the fat you have somehow magically. Not in my case though, it was still visible, so bad luck. So then I go to pick this girl up and this girl comes with a white dress. Absolutely amazing. I was just like, damn, that's cool, that's amazing. And I was so excited because I think up till that point I'd never had any girl sit on the back of my bike. And it's a surreal feeling, guys. I'm sure you can relate to this. So what happened is that we went to the wedding and the palace, I mean, as a sidebar, palace grounds, dude, that place is amazing. Definitely that's the dream destination. I know there are so many other places outside Bangalore, but then wow. Of course, you need to be able to afford it, and that's a big question mark. But yeah, I mean, come on, it's like a dream place. Anyways, so we finished the wedding, and then I had parked my bike in such a way that it was a slope. And here's the thing you need to learn about Royal Enfields. So it's a very good place to know. If you put your bike in a slope kind of a position, it is very hard to take it back with just sitting on it and using your legs and pushing back. I hadn't realized that until then because I was so excited. And I thought to myself, oh shit, here we go. This girl, she is waiting. We finished the wedding, everything, the food was amazing. Voila. Chef's kiss, everything. And then I struggled to take my bike out. And the best part is, silver lining is that she wasn't able to see my face. So she was standing behind me and I was looking away from her, and all she could see is that I'm trying to get it out. She was also on a call at that time. But you should have seen my face. My face was all, fully like, ugh, ugh, I'm just pulling. I can't. My face looks horrible. And I pray to God that she doesn't see or that I don't take her help. Because it was a really weird thing to ask. I mean, would you go to someone and ask, hey, can you just pull my bike back because it's a Royal Enfield and clearly this bike is way out of my league. I can't even pull it back because I skipped leg day. No, of course not. I couldn't ask her that. So what I do is I end up pulling with all my might, praying that I don't accidentally fart or something because that would have been super embarrassing. So then what I do is I somehow get it back. Yes, you guys don't get it. It's just that moment. All I prayed was to just get that bike back. Nothing else. So somehow I get it back. Oh, hey, there are some neighbors who are fighting. The funny thing about these podcasts is that I try to record them at late night because I don't have a noise cancellation, the diffusion wala system. So it's really silent here. And most of the time, what ends up happening? Dogs bark. You know how much they love to bark at night. Some vehicles are going with absolutely no need for them to be here. And now recently neighbors have started fighting. Why do I need guests when there are guests all over my... Anyways, sorry for the sidebar. Yeah, so where was I? taking that bike behind. And in that moment, I just wanted that bike to come back magically, and it did. So thank you, God. And then she gets on, and we have had a lovely evening. I am very happy. Firstly, going out with the girl, beautiful. And then, having to see the wedding, marvelous. When am I going to be there? Exactly. And then, as I go back, this girl, she points to a car saying that, hey, look, there's a Kia car there. And it was matte black. Matte black cars are amazing. So, yeah, keep your eyes on the road. Yes, I should have listened in RTO classes. But, I mean, come on, yaar, it's a girl pointing there. I would have shut my eyes if she had asked me to. And that's the funny part. I looked there just for a moment, and I confidently looked there because I was slowing down. So I was slowing down my bike, and there was a truck in front of the bike. I was dead certain that this would definitely stop. It would stop. The bike would stop because I was applying the correct amount of pressure on the brakes. Turns out it didn't. And I think a crash with a thud would have been even more satisfying than what had actually happened. See, the thing here is, even if the damage is minimal, the heartbreak is real. And not only that, it was a slight inconvenience which turned out to be a really major inconvenience for me. What happened is that these trucks, they have an iron rod kind of thing at the back. So what happened is that my bike went face first, mudguard first to that rod. And the impact was such that none of us were affected, thank God. But it was so minimal just to make sure that the mudguard snapped the wheels in place. The front wheel. And the wheel did not move. The wheel did not move. I tried raising the accelerator, and the wheel refuses to move because it's held in place so tightly that I can't do anything. And it's around 11:30, almost, the time I'm recording this. 11:30, and there's a girl with me, and we are probably around at least 10 kilometers away from our respective places. All these neighbors are shouting here. Come on, please, I'm recording here. So here's what happens. I get down, and immediately, dude, where does Bangalore traffic even originate here? When I was young, I used to look at the ocean and think, where does all this water come from? And now I look at Bangalore traffic and think, where do all these vehicles come from? That's how bad it was. 11:30, and there are a horde of vehicles behind me, honking. They don't have patience at 11:30 also. And what could I do? I can't even move this thing. So she asks what happened, and I realize, oh God, how do I break this? So then what happens is that I get down with all my might. I pull the vehicle, I put the side stand, and I pull it to the side. And I kid you not, this was adrenaline working full force. And I saw the skid marks basically from the side stand. It was a straight line. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Pull that bike. It was around 200 kgs of that bike, and I had to pull it all the way. It was really such a horrible experience. And at the end, I was sweating through my helmet. I couldn't bear the pain. But the fact is that since there was an adrenaline rush, I had to do something. I didn't exactly, experience it at its worst. So now, this girl's staring at me. She's thinking, how do I get home? So naturally, what I think is, hey, listen, you know what? You need to, I'll catch a cab for you. Because yeah, that's the best thing I do, right? That's the best thing I could do. And then I asked her to, take a cab and leave, but then she refused. So wherever you are now, if you're listening to this, shout out to you. That's the best thing I've heard. I mean, that's the best thing that happened. I mean, if you have someone as a company, it's a good thing, right? In that moment. But guys, where do I go? This is like This is like a full fledged crisis situation with no one around. Which mechanic do I go and call? And I try lifting that thing, that mudguard, right? And I don't want to strain too much. I mean, I tried straining too much, but how do I get it up? I mean, that was so sturdy, and the the most surprising fact was that I could hit that iron rod at, let's say, 10 kilometers per hour, and still it would cause such a big impact. What do I do now? There's a cab driver in front of me. I ask him for a spanner. And of course, right, if that spanner would have worked, then my life would have been a little easier. There's the twist. That spanner couldn't go inside. That's how tightly in place the mudguard was. So we had to find something even smaller. So he brought out some object. I don't even know what that is. I'm so thankful that he had it at that time. And then I pushed it up while he was holding the handles in place. And oh my god, it took every fiber of my being. And I'm not lying. I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that the very fact that that girl was looking at me to find a solution kind of motivated me to pump in more energy and somehow take it out. But it felt like an amazing relief when I was actually able to take it out. So yeah, so then we went in silence. The vibe was really amazing until then. We met. She asked me to a wedding. I went, and then on my way back, this thing happens. I think that ruined all my chances with her, honestly speaking. So yep, this is one of my experiences, and I thought I would tell you about another one. That's the only other embarrassing experience I've had with my bike. But yeah, obviously time constraint. I think we have crossed around 15 minutes. So yep, bikes. It's a funny thing. Now when I look back at that time, I was so scared. I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere, and it felt like the middle of nowhere. Although there were so many vehicles there, but looking back, it was a nice thing. I mean, I learned something there. Anyways, that's it with this episode. And I had posted an Instagram story about a Q&A session, which I would do if there was a set number of questions. But unfortunately, I didn't receive a lot of responses, so I would be pushing that to next week. I have put it up somewhere. You can check it out. And oh my god, they're shouting. Guys, if you can hear this, this is like juicy gossip for you guys. I mean, I would tell you about these neighbors in one episode if I can. That's how loud they're talking. And there's a lot of disturbance, so I apologize. So yeah, so the thing is, you can go to that link, anonymously ask me any questions, which I will address in the next episode, and that would be the final episode of this season. I sound like a TV series. It's a small proud moment, because I would, yeah, you know what, let me tell you why it's the next episode in the next episode. Enough for today. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. As usual, let me know if you have any suggestions. And I hope you like this mic quality. I hope it's bearable, because I tried recording in a cupboard and all that drama I did, circus I did just a few minutes ago. So yeah, I hope you like this. Take care and see you next week.